We've had our hands on the Marshall Willen for a little over 2 months now, and it's quickly become a favourite around the office. And at $89.99, it sits perfectly in between the higher end and budget portable speaker options that we've reviewed recently. So without further ado, let's get 5 minutes up on the screen and tell you all you need to know about this little speaker, including key pros and cons and a sound test to help you decide if it's right for you. Starting with design then, the Willen doesn't stray too far from the old school vibe that we've come to know and love from Marshall products, with rugged rubber edges and a tough plastic grille on the front. It's not all for looks though, as the Willen comes with an IP67 rating as well, meaning it should be able to handle whatever you throw at it, or whatever you throw it at. But you know us, and it wouldn't be an SHS review if we didn't put our money where our mouth is, so let's go do a durability test. Cool, so we're at the local park and I'm going to do a quick durability test with the Willen. So I'm going to drop it from about this height on different surfaces and we'll see what sort of damage it has at the end. Ready? Yeah. Here we go. So yeah, apart from a few scuffs and scrapes on the side here, I don't think there's anything that's going to affect sound performance, so I'd call that a success. A few other things to point out for you guys then. If we turn it over, there's a handy rubber strap on the back for attaching it to anything you can stretch it around really. Now, we were really skeptical about the durability of this strap at first, but we found it to be a really handy way to attach it to things, from rucksacks to bike handlebars and everything in between. We found loads of places to put the Willen that you just wouldn't be able to if it had any other securing method, so that's a really big thumbs up there. On the top here, we have a Bluetooth pairing button that also works to connect it to an unlimited amount of Willens for stack mode, in case you or a friend have another one and you want to get a bit more volume on the go. Sadly, this doesn't make them a stereo pair, which is something we would have liked to have seen, but considering you can pay an unlimited amount, I don't think it was ever intended to be used in that way. Maybe on the Willen too? Who knows? To control the Willen, there's a joystick-style multi-function control knob on the front here, which is really intuitive and easy to use. However, if you don't press down the button perfectly straight, then it doesn't register that you've pressed it fully, but that's my only gripe with it really. Next to the pairing button is a battery life indicator, which is really clear and good way to show exactly how long you have left until you need to charge it. Now, in terms of charging, it's got a USB-C connection on the side here, and it charges in 3 hours from 0 to 100%, giving you 15 hours of playback. However, in our testing, we found it lasted much longer than that when played at around 50% volume. It also comes with a fast charge feature where 20 minutes of charging gives you 3 hours of playback, which is an awesome little feature to have on a speaker that will always be on the go with you. The Willen has Bluetooth 5.1 with an SBC codec, so it has a range of around 10 meters, but we found it to be further than that when uninterrupted in an open field, for example. Then again, I don't know why you'd want to be more than 10 meters away from this thing anyway. Inside we have a 2-inch Class D 10-watt dynamic driver and 2 passive radiators with a frequency range of 100 Hz to 20 kHz. But enough of all that. Here's a quick sound test for you to get a flavour of what the Willen actually sounds like. Now, quick disclaimer, it will always sound different when listening over YouTube, but this should just give you a taste. So you can definitely hear Marshall's signature sound in the Willen. The overall sound is very warm, the bass is fairly powerful, and the highs are pretty dynamic for a speaker this size. For this price point and form factor, I think it'll be pretty hard to find a speaker that competes with this. Now, it's also worth mentioning that there are 3 EQ presets you can change between in the Marshall app: voice, push, and Marshall. Now, from testing, we found that the bass and voice boost come at the cost of each other. Boosting either one really diminishes the other, and when listening to podcasts, the voice boost feature actually made the voices quieter, and I noticed the bass boost actually helped more in this case. So from my point of view, the EQ settings aren't really worth using, and sticking with the Marshall preset is best to just set and forget, but play around with it yourself and see. Now, the Willen isn't a super feature-rich speaker, but for this form factor and price point, I don't think a wealth of features is something you're looking for. One feature which is a good addition though is the ability to take calls on it. Now, the built-in mic is decent enough that you don't have to be right next to it for it to pick up your voice, and in our testing, we could hear no real difference between our phone mics and that of the Willens. So at the end of the day, the Willen won't be for everyone, but if you're looking for a decent, small speaker that you can throw in a rucksack and take with you everywhere for under £100, then this should tick all of your boxes. Okay, hopefully that was under 5 minutes. Let's just quickly check on the timer. Oh, plenty of time left, nice. Well, I hope that helped you guys decide whether the Willen is for you. All the links to our store will be in the description below if you decide that this is for you and you're based in the UK. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.